Hold on, Dominique. I'm trying. Y'all know I'm still trying to figure stuff out. Can you hear me, Dominique?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. Welcome to Beyond the Filter, to another episode of Beyond the Filter, where we go beyond the surface and into the stories, lessons, and truths that shape who we are. I'm your host, Trent Simmons.
And I am his co hostess, Dominique Sanchez. Grab your juice, your Coke, or a glass of wine as we go beyond the filter. Just one more time.
Just one more
Happy,
time.
just one more time. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday.
How
Um,
are you?
I'm good. I can't complain. I felt like I was a little under the weather last night, so I started like doctoring myself up and taking stuff because I didn't want to be a no call, no show for this interview because I'm very excited about this interview. Like, it ain't every day you get to talk to the storyteller, right?
That is correct.
Who do we
And
have,
she's not
Dominique?
easy. She's not accessible to everybody.
Huh?
Her
Talk
her
about it.
her piece is very important to her. Somebody that's very special to me. She
Hmm.
was my queen. She was my. We were. I was Miss Gay US of A. She was Miss Gay US of A at large, and we reigned together. And she's a very special person to me because she became a mother, a sister, a
Mm,
mentor, an example of a walking life lesson for me.
mm,
And
yeah.
so our relationship really grew and it really developed during my year. And I mean, I'm just so thrilled and honored for her to be here with us. I mean, we have the one and the only, the lady Tahjee
The
Iman.
Lady Taji. Listen, she's a former Miss Westland Grand Empress. She's a former Miss Sweetheart Plus. She's a former Miss Heavenly at Large. She's a
Mhm.
former Miss Continental. She's a former Miss US of A at Large. I mean, did she get all the big titles?
Absolutely. And I mean, and still going, right?
It's still
She
going.
had, she hadn't competed in a while, and then and she went and she won Miss Cosmopolitan
Hmm.
down in St. Louis. I mean,
Okay.
she's still doing big things, still doing
And
big things.
still doing big things, y'all. But look, without further ado, I know what y'all came for. I know what y'all ready to hear. Listen, we bring it, and she's also been called Big Sexy. We bringing Big Sexy onto the screen. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all welcome Tahjee Iman.
Hello, hello,
Hey,
hello,
Tahjee.
hello.
I love you all so much. Oh my goodness. Two people that I absolutely love.
Thank you. We love
Okay.
you even
I
more.
love you all so much. I love what you are doing here and thank you all for having me.
Thank you for
How are
agreeing to come
you?
on.
I am well. I am I'm at a peaceful place. I have no complaints, life is good and when you get lemons, you squeeze the juice in his eyes. So I'm okay. Um, I have been dealing with a little health issue that's called HS, hydronitis suppurativa. You may know about that being in the medical field, but besides that, I am well, I'm blessed, and I'm grateful.
That's amazing. And you've been laying a little low lately as well because it's to my understanding, you about to be like on I's married now. I's married.
My man, my man, my man, my man. I am engaged. So, yes, I'm engaged to a wonderful man who has become my best friend. Um, at times, my therapist. Recently, some things I've gone through, almost my caretaker, but I absolutely am in love and I feel loved. I do. I'm in a unjudgmental, um, unconditional love that I really am blessed to have.
Have you ever felt
I think I
love
had. Do I have a
at this
lag
level
going on?
before?
You do
But
have a
right now
lag.
you're doing you, but
It's
I,
a
right now you're good.
it's a slight lag.
I
Maybe you can
have
go out and come
felt
back in.
it.
Maybe you can go out and come back in, Tahjee, because I want everybody to be able to hear this and be glued to this. You know, because it is just a slight.
Just a little tinky tink
Okay,
tink.
do I put myself out or do you put me out?
I can do it. Let me see. Y'all, hold on. We
We
have a little.
we were yeah, we were about to get started,
Yeah, we about to
but
roll it out
hey,
now.
it's worth the wait.
It's
It's
definitely
worth the
worth the
wait.
wait. I'm
Just
ecstatic.
hearing her voice and
Mm-hmm.
that smile is so electric.
To light up a
I
room.
oh my God, how can you not love that lady?
My eyes. Oh my
She
God.
she is she is just
Hey,
joy
Terlin
walking
Fox.
around. Hi,
Terlin
oh
Fox,
hey
we got to get your story
Terlin.
too, Terry. You got to come talk to us,
Oh
Terlin.
my God, would you please,
Come talk to
please
us.
talk
I
to
know
us,
it's
highest
so
score.
much knowledge and so much experience, you know,
Oh, and
from you.
I gotta tell you about how when I was show director at a bar down in Little Rock, Tara Lynn
Mm-hmm.
came into town, and I got to
Mm-hmm.
tell you about how we were tramping around because 90% of the people that were that were there at the bar are straight where I was working,
Oh,
and Tara Lynn and I had on our freakum dresses, and we were terrorizing the people together.
oh, you got to tell me about it.
Won't I?
Okay,
Sis, you back?
I am back. I think that's a little better.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll see.
hey Trevor. Yeah, that's
Okay.
better.
So what I was asking you before you went out, Tahjee, was that have you ever felt love like this before in a romantic capacity, or is this something new? And is this a totally different experience?
I have felt it before, but I did not feel it to the point of where I felt it was always faithful.
Okay.
Mm.
But this is new for me because I do feel a devoted and a faithful, love, unconditional,
Mm.
unjudgmental love. I've also felt love before, but I felt judged as well at times. Maybe, sometimes the person that I was with at the time would try to knock me down a few pegs,
Yeah,
at times by judging some of the things that I, would do. But I feel none of that this go
that's
round.
awesome. That is so awesome.
Mm.
So were you so
Yeah.
when this came your way and you realized how he felt about you and what he wanted with you, were you open and receptive to it, or was it something that you had to adjust to?
I had to adjust to it. I wanted to fight it. I was, pushing him away. I didn't want to be bothered. I just didn't want to go through it again. Sometimes I feel because of who you are, people try to hurt you at times. And sometimes they can get to you through a weak link in your chain.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So if I don't have any weak links in my chain, no one can get to me to hurt me. So for that, I wanted to just be alone, be by myself.
Yeah,
And, I just began to think about what I do deserve. I do actually deserve to give love a chance,
yeah,
to actually feel love. It's a beautiful feeling. So, yeah, through his perseverance and the things that he started to do and to show and how it actually made me feel, I most definitely opened up and said, okay, let's try this.
okay,
Mm.
that's awesome.
That's
That's
awesome.
so
So
awesome.
so tell me before we move on from that, what does love mean to you in its purest form? Could you hear me?
It's unconditional and it is, yes, it's, am I lagging again?
Just we gonna keep it
It's
going.
unconditional.
We'll keep
It's
it going. Yeah,
unconditional. You can feel it. You in its purest form to me. You can feel it. You know, you can sense it. You want it around you. It's electrifying. When it's not
Mhm.
near you, you miss it. You know, it's non-judgmental. You
Yeah,
know, and that was just a big part for me. You know, not to be judged for who I am or the things that I may like to do. You know, so yeah, that's what it means to me.
yeah.
Mm,
As
And
long as it's
and,
unconditional and
mhm.
non-judgmental,
okay.
And I hope that
it's
you
just an amazing
realize,
feeling.
and I just hope that you realize how you are like that for so many people. Because during our year as US of A's together, that's how I felt. And so every opportunity that I had to be around you, I was just like, because when you say, I want to come to the pageant, but I'm not sure. And I'd be like, oh, please, come on, come on. Because just be you just exude acceptance and love and the way that you just unconditionally give of yourself to people. So maybe that's why it came to you, because that's what you have given.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I've been hurt by love before, and you know, I've been hurt by trying to give a genuine love. So things that I've been hurt by, I try to pay extra attention to make
Yeah.
sure people feel it, or and you know, make sure they never feel the hurt that I felt.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So
So
so let's oh, go ahead, Trent. Go ahead, baby.
so let's because you're such an interested person. I met you way back. We go back when you came to Memphis and whooped our girls on the pageant and took our little crown back to Chicago with your beautiful Martin Elliott dresses on
99.
and supposed to 99, right? So I met you then and you were mesmerizing then and you're mesmerizing now. But I would like to know how the Lady Tahjee got started. Who did you see? Maybe you was out one day and you saw somebody perform and you were like, whoa, she is amazing. I want to be like her. Like, who did you see that made you want to step into this arena?
I first saw Christian.
Valentino.
That was the first person that I saw. I went out and I snuck in Eric and Christian.
Oh, Eric Renee Christian.
I went out and I snuck into a club. Yeah, I snuck into a club at the time. It was called the Clubhouse, and she was
Just a little
Wow.
connectivity issues, but it's gonna be all right, honey. We're gonna stay until we get this interview done. That means if we're up here until 2 o'clock in the morning,
In the
I'm
mid
going
morning,
I'm going to sit here until we get the whole story told.
because I'm ready to
And
talk to
and,
Taji.
and,
We
and
got
baby,
we got questions.
we have a lot of questions, and then she's got so much knowledge and wisdom and life experiences to share.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and look at the comments. The people are so ecstatic about
I know.
having Tahjee here, and to be received by the community in that way. It's,
Yes.
it's just
Yes.
it's so inspiring to see. But
Hey,
we go
Denise
we gonna get
Jackson.
this.
Passion.
Yeah,
Hey, John Brooks. Tay Tay. Tony Monique. Terry Cantone. Hey, all y'all. Corey Munn. Okay, I think
but
she's
she
back. I
but, but
think.
she gonna but she gonna have to come on, because honey, if I keep drinking,
Don't you get in that
the
bottle like that. I
the
know what
loose
happened.
I'm gonna get.
Don't you get in that bottle like that.
I
okay.
won't.
So
Oh,
I don't know. I'm on my laptop and it seemed to keep having problems. I don't know if it's me, but I just logged in through my cell phone, so I figured we'll try that since I got
oh,
kicked
girl.
This
completely out.
this seems
And babe,
great. No,
yeah,
this
this is
connection
great.
seems really good.
So yeah, I came in through my cell phone this time instead of the
Cell
laptop.
phone, cell
Um,
phone.
But as I was
Okay.
saying, the first person that I saw when I came out was Erica Renee Christian. I snuck into the club. It was called the Clubhouse at the time, and she was on the stage. It was a dark atmosphere, and she was on the
Mm-hmm.
stage in this black dress, and she had this updo, and she was doing Phyllis Hyman, and the smoke was around her, and she was absolutely gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
And she was so breathtaking, and she was mesmerizing, and she was so beautiful to the point I was enjoying her so much. But she was so beautiful, it was like you shouldn't even touch her. She was so beautiful. It's like I was
Yes.
almost afraid to,
Yes.
just even touch her. And at that time, something was just in me, and I just wanted to embody and be that.
Mm. Yeah.
Now, so that's who kind of made me want to hit the stage. Now, who made me want to, I say, be a little sexy or risque in some of the things that I started to do, was Flame Monroe.
Okay. Shout out to Flame. Yes,
Flame is
Flame.
influencing a lot of people.
So yeah. And people like also Victoria LePage and Sasha Valentino, who um were mentors when it came to competition. So in coming up in Chicago, I had a lot of leaders that I was able to look up to and inspire to be like, or learn from them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Okay. And even before then, Taji, like I watched you at Continental when you won, and I forgot what the question was, but I remember you saying faith, family, and friends, and I remember that being so to the point and so sweet. Let's talk about family a bit. How was it transitioning into who you want to be? Was it Andrea Claiborne, right? Like
Yeah.
how how was it transition? Did you have a hard time? Because I know we go back to the 1900s and 80s and stuff and 90s when we was growing up, and it wasn't that popular back then. You know what I'm saying? And was it hard for you, or were they very accepting?
I don't believe it was as hard for me as it could have been, or as some of the others may have had stories. I kind of stepped away doing some of, my transitioning, and, I just started to pop back up at my mom's house with subtle changes,
Mm-hmm.
and my father. I remember when he first found out, we did get into it, and one of the things he said to me was, "I hope you have sex and die of AIDS."
Oh wow.
Mm.
And I mean, yeah, it devastated me when I heard it, but honestly, I think it may have saved my life. I don't know, for some reason, I just thought if I had sex, I would, catch AIDS
Yeah.
and die. So it turned
Yeah.
me away from sex.
Okay.
Later, a couple years down the line, I don't know how accepting I would say he was of it, but he never made me feel as though I wasn't his child after
Okay.
that.
Mm.
And I kind of believe that we became really, good friends. Um,
Okay.
I actually say, he stopped being so mean to me because I wasn't ugly. So I kind of felt like he was like, okay, well, maybe, maybe it's
Yeah.
something. Maybe, it's something there. My brother and I, we had I'm the youngest of four between my mom and my dad. I'm the youngest at 48.
Mhm.
And my mom and my dad separated later on down the line. So I do have a younger sister, but I'm the youngest of the four of my mom and my dad. Um, one of my brothers, my oldest brother, we stopped talking for a little while because of a comment I heard that he said,
Mhm.
but we're best friends. Now he's one of the most accepting, people in the world. He will show up for me
Mm.
from anywhere, no matter, and make sure if whatever, he'll show up for me.
Mhm.
My sister and I, we're best friends. We talk every day. That's my twin. Absolutely love her. Um, So yeah, my mom, she's a missionary. We have a good relationship, although my mom, because she's a missionary in the church, I always believe she never had the real acceptance of who I did become. But yes, she loves me as her child. You know,
Mhm.
Okay.
she will use the wrong pronouns at times, although she try to watch herself. But then I just back off and just kind of distance myself. I used to get mad at her, but I also realized that you get one mom in life.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it is what it is. I love you. Gonna love you. Always. But yeah. So I would say for overall, it wasn't a bad transition for me.
Okay.
I do remember my brother saying, you're one of the smartest people that I do know. I know whatever you're doing, it's because you want to do it, and it's because of how you feel. You're not following anyone. So I
Mm.
believe that my family, kind of felt like that. If you're doing this, it's a reason for it.
So may I ask, what age were you when you realized, yeah, no, this is not who I am. I'm supposed to be this person. What age were you when you realized that? And then were you just like, I'm doing it? I don't care what anybody thinks. Or was there any apprehension in making that final decision?
I think maybe about 14 or 15 is when I kind of realized that this wasn't the body that I wanted to be in. It wasn't early on when I was young. I think maybe about 14 or 15, I realized that womanhood is suited for me. And around that age, I said to myself, oh, well, after prom, that's it. That's a wrap. And I remember telling my family, like, get all the pictures you all can. Like, it's a wrap. Once I graduate, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. After I graduate, it is a wrap, people. Get all the pictures that you can, you know.
Mhm.
And I remember coming in the house or, coming to my mom and dad's house one time after I had my face pumped. And my father said to me, okay, stop right there before you F something up.
Mm.
Oh,
Don't do nothing.
okay.
He said, don't do nothing else. He said, stop right there before you F something up. Oh, my father was, ugh, I love him. He was always straight to the point, always cursed, retire of that. He was a man that was always straight to the point, kept a pistol
Mhm.
on him, pulled it out
Yeah.
at the drop. If you looked at him wrong, he pulled it out, and I kind of picked
Yeah.
up that side, but I also kind of picked up
Okay.
my mom's side, which is a missionary and caring
Uh-huh.
and, loving.
Hmm.
But, my father was one of the original gangster disciples of Chicago. So, I did have, some of that in me, I beat you
Mhm.
down and still pray for you,
Okay.
And he always told me um, never to get a nose job because I wouldn't look like one of his kids. So through my
Mm.
surgeries, that was the only thing that I never done that I wanted to do because he actually said that to me.
Mm.
Wow.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah.
So when did
Wow.
Tahjee first get on stage, and what was that experience like?
Mhm.
I first got on stage 1994 in Chicago at the Jeffrey Pub. There was a lady by the name of Connie Dupree who gave me a chance to do a show, and I did Aretha Franklin "Deeper Love" with a sequin corset and some biker shorts and some Jordans.
Not the
Did you
Jordan
say Jordans?
Tahjee.
Did you
You
Some
say
said
Jordans.
Jordan?
Yeah, some
Jordans. Yes,
Jordans.
you did.
Then I was a dancer. I used to move around a lot. So I danced and what looked like a little workout outfit to
Mhm.
me.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I had some powder on my face. Didn't know anything about foundation, anything like that. Had a little bob wig and
Uh-huh.
yeah, I did Deeper Love, and I made a lot of money. And I said, okay, I love this. This is what I want to do.
Mhm.
So
You,
that
you,
was the start of it.
and how old were you at the time?
I want to say 17.
17. And it was a
I was
point of no return.
17. Yeah, I was 17 or 16. I was a senior about to graduate.
Okay. Okay.
So
Wow.
yeah.
Well, who
So when did
introduced
you
you to the
realize?
federal?
Oh, so go ahead, Travis. Go ahead, go
No,
ahead,
go ahead.
baby.
No, no. Is this your follow up?
Me and Trent be we get excited
We be so
sometimes and
anxious.
we
We be
kind of
like,
It's
ah.
listen, it's
we
fine. Let me take
stumble
a sip
over.
since y'all sipping. Let me.
Go ahead, Dominique. Though I
Absolutely.
don't.
So when did you realize? You know what? I'm good at this.
I, I believe I realized that first show that I was good at it,
Mm-hmm,
or I enjoyed it a lot. So either way, it was enough for me to say, "Oh, I want to do this."
mm-hmm.
So and I kind of felt like I was good at it because I made money.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The crowd enjoyed me. And
Yes.
when you feel the love and appreciation from the crowd, that's a high.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
So yeah, it was like, oh, I want to feel this again. I was, yeah, okay. So yeah.
And so I heard you talk about you had the Jordans on, but before your accident, like when you came to Memphis, you had on like a 20-inch heel, like walking like you were just gliding like it was a regular everyday shoe. Who taught you how to walk and maneuver in those type of heels? Because as a big girl, that's kind of unheard of. I think it's one other Ava as another girl who walks in the tall heels. I'd be like, I was so impressed by that. So who taught you that?
Well, I used to dance in high school. I came
Mm,
up dancing in like Afro American dance. So I kind of was good with balance. And I always just wanted to be a Jessica Rabbit in the 24 back then. And I just thought
mm.
heels were the sexiest things ever. So I used to wear heels all day long. I even used to sleep in them at times.
Wow.
But
Oh
I used to
wow.
wear heels all day long, like put them on, go to the mall, just keep heels on because I just thought they were the sexiest thing. And to be a big girl in heels, like, oh, like I just thought it was the sexiest thing. So yeah, that was just my goal, to be sexy in a heel.
Mm. Oh yeah, you achieved that too.
Oh,
You
thank
ach-
you.
you achieved that. You was one
Right.
bad mouth.
Now I'm sexy in my expensive flats.
See, listen,
Oh, honey,
listen,
listen.
listen to
But
me.
still killing the game. But
Yes,
still
child.
Oh,
killing the game. Because no, listen, nobody compares to what you bring to a stage.
Mm.
thank you.
Because once again, I don't think I met you for the very first time until US of A at large. I think that was my first encounter with you. And I don't want to skip over anything. But once again, you make people fall in love with you because I just remember your interview. And it was one of the most realist and most honest interviews I had ever been a part of. And the things that you said were so profound. I just said to myself, who else could be Miss Gay US of A at large? I said, she's sitting
Mhm.
right here in our face right now. I said, the only way she will not win is if she's just absolutely horrible for the rest of the page. Because I had seen because I think you interviewed first. And I was like, unless she's absolutely horrible, there is no way she is not going to win this contest. Because I mean, the things that you said embody what I think every national title holder should try to embody because it was so selfless. And you talked about giving back, about it being a year of servitude as opposed to worship me, worship me. But anyway, go on, Trent, because I can talk about
I
this
thank
woman all
you.
day
I love
long.
you. I
Please
had an
don't let me get out of
amazing year with
control.
you.
So, Saji, I like to even before we get into your illustrious career, because you had that, you like we can gloat about you all day long, but there's things that happened to you in life that transpired in life that made you this person, who made you the storyteller. When you do a song, I mean, you do songs that's album cuts. You don't do the popular songs all the time. You do an album cut and you make people fall in love with it. Like they like now's our favorite song, and that's being able to feel it. That comes from a place that if you feel it, you make us feel it. So before we even get into that part of it, coming out as a trans woman, and back then, like I like what Terry said back then. She wasn't transitioning to be a trans woman. she was transitioning to be a woman. And being a woman is very expensive, because there's a lot of things that women require. Um, what kind of jobs, if at all, or what did you do to survive as this newfound person?
I wrote checks.
Mm,
Okay, okay.
I wrote checks. I graduated high school and I went to DeVry.
okay.
I left DeVry after a little while because at the time, Christian and I got a job at a bar there called Trade and Flavor in Chicago. And I'm young and naive, and I'm thinking, oh, shit, I'm on a showcase. I'm good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I could do this. So, I left school and everything. And, being young and under the leadership of a couple of the older girls who were writing checks,
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
and I was seeing how they were living and they had everything they wanted. They had a nice apartment and they had clothes. And it was the thing in Chicago, you kept garments. You had to,
Yeah.
baby, you kept getting clothes made. And also it was the thing of two, you got good surgery done.
Yeah.
You're
Mm-hmm.
gonna get implants. You don't sit up and get pumped.
Yeah.
You're gonna get implants. So I also wanted to, be that girl. It wasn't, like big girls that were really doing that
Mm-hmm.
I would see. So, I wanted to do that. So yeah, I wrote checks. I learned how to write checks and I was a check writer and also started doing a couple of credit cards as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Learning the
Mhm.
credit card game.
Well,
And,
what was that like starting out though? Because I've also come out and I was around, like I came out in the late '90s, and I hang around nothing but the check writers and the boosters. We were, sometimes I've stolen a few things too, but I was always so afraid to write the check because I used to stand at the counter sometimes with people writing checks, and I would be about to shit on myself. I would be so nervous. You know, what was that moment like you was like when the first transaction went through? Was it like, okay, bitch, it's on from now?
you know what? I can't remember the first transaction, but what I do know is I came up around people who were confident in the game
Mm.
and who taught me that you pay for the best work so you don't have to be nervous.
Oh.
And what you're talking about when you go
Okay.
into the store and you always look a certain way so you're never intimidated. You can intimidate them.
Oh.
So it was things that I was taught to pay attention to and to listen to so you wouldn't show signs of nervousness, like the couple
Mm-hmm.
beeps when the check went through, so you don't have to turn around and watch the register because you shouldn't be watching them if your stuff is going to go through.
Right. Right.
You should still be doing
Right,
whatever
right,
you're
right,
doing,
right.
holding a conversation, but you're also listening to see if a denial code is coming through or if you hear the approval code that comes through. So I was taught things like that, to be confident or to, go in particular stores and know what you're asking for. Under one particular, girl, she would go in the store and ask for a diamond marquee set a certain way, wrapped in princess stones. So it was,
Wait a
she
minute.
taught me
Wait a
how
minute.
to speak and
Wait a
ask
minute.
for.
Wait a minute. Y'all get marquee diamonds and precious stones.
Yeah, she taught me how to ask for, certain things,
Yes.
to where, the people were kind of thrown back and were excited to assist you,
Really?
and, again, was trained in not doing what everybody else was doing or not
Mhm.
going where everybody else was going. And again, most definitely making sure that what you presented was top notch,
Right.
Okay.
so it
So was
wouldn't be questioned.
so was there ever a point that you felt guilty that you were doing this, or were you just like, child, it is what it is.
No,
I'm living my best
it was
life.
no, because at that point, I honestly I felt as though that was something I was going to be doing the rest of my life.
Oh,
No
okay.
Really?
lie, I believe that's why I did lose my leg. I believe the Lord just wanted to slow me down. I am a spiritual person. And, I
Okay.
believe the
Yeah.
Lord, just slowed me down. I was, doing things I shouldn't have been doing, living a
Mhm.
little
Mhm.
faster than I should have been, living, tricking the boys in heels and things like that.
Yes, yeah.
So, getting caught up, and I was going down a road that I probably would not have, you know, come back around
So,
for. Don't leave the house if you're not making at least $1,000 a day. Well, I leave the house, Um,
right.
so yeah.
Wait
So
a
no, it
minute.
was never a
Back
time
at
that
it.
I felt guilty about it, because I didn't feel as though I was hurting anyone. It
Right,
was
right.
most of
Mhm.
the time it was made up information. So it was just
Okay.
corporations.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
And then being young, even when you were doing things on people's credit cards, until you got older and got your own and, learned, you're like, oh, just dispute it. You'll get it back. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So what was that point where you were like, where, because you said that it led to where you said, okay, the Lord is showing me this is not the way. What was that? Because you said you ended up losing your leg. Was that related to the Lord trying to show you, okay, it's time for you to stop this. I got something different for you.
For me, yeah, that's how I looked at it. I believe so I can accept what was going on and what I was living through.
Okay.
Mhm. Did you
You
get
know,
sign did you get signs before that too? Before that fateful moment, did you get signs from the Lord?
I could have, and I could have ignored them, because at the time it was so much that I wanted, and it was things that I wanted to
Mhm.
be.
Okay.
I wanted around that time. I was Miss Black US of A at the time here,
I
Terry
remember
Chapman,
I
who
remember
passed.
that pageant. Yeah.
So yeah, it was, and to me it was like, oh, I've started. Like, okay, this is it. Like, this is the first thing. This is it. I'm ready to go by storm now. So for me, it wasn't, slow down. It was get all that I could get,
Mhm.
Yeah.
so I could continue to go. So it could have been, and I just, ignored them for what I
Mhm.
wanted, you know.
In that moment. So what was that like? Because I mean, that's a really life altering experience. Here you were, this hot to trot, sassy, thick mama, working
Yes,
your
yes,
shit
Thick
with your
Mama.
heels on. You know what I mean? And because that's all I could think. All I could see is that you were walking around, big titties, big ass, high heel shoes on, killing the game. But then that happened, and you lost your leg. What awakening was that? What shifted for you in that moment, and what were your thoughts in that moment?
Uh my thoughts in that moment, I really didn't have any for um I would say for the first month. I stayed in the hospital exactly 31 days. I just remember that because I was just ready to leave. I wanted to leave. But I had about 17 or 18 surgeries, and they were trying to get
Wow.
the debris and the infection out of my leg. They kept saying the infection is going higher and higher. And if we don't amputate it, it's going to come to a point where you can't get a prosthetic, and it'll get into your bloodstream and you will die. And I just kept saying, okay, well, I'm going to have to die. I was just
Mm.
at that point like, oh my goodness, I can't, I can't live without a leg. So, let it, if y'all can't stop it, just let it go ahead and take me out.
Mm.
And I remember my family at the time snuck my nieces and nephews in, and they were young at the time. So I woke up to like my nephew laying in the bed with me,
Mm.
so for them, I signed the paper for them to
Yeah,
amputate my leg.
yeah.
Um, and I also saw the pain in my father's eyes, um, because surprisingly enough, we had been through something, but he was up there every day
Hmm.
at the hospital. He was there more than my mom. I almost had to ask my mom to come up there.
Hmm.
But my dad was up there every day, and um, he was just let me know, like, no, you'll be fine. You get a prosthetic. He like, I got a buddy who got a prosthetic. Like, you'll be fine. And I mean, of course, it wasn't anything that I wanted to hear. I'm thinking, shit, I
Mm-hmm.
want to wear my heels.
Right.
Yeah.
Like so. But yeah, I signed the paper and
Okay.
everything, and moved in with my parents. Moved back to my mom's house, and my sister took care of me there and everything. So that was the start of it, and it was I was I don't even know if I was living at the time. I was kind of just going through life.
Yeah.
Mm.
I was just
Were you
kind of.
angry?
I was a little angry because as soon as I was able to go out the house, I started stealing.
Wait a
So
minute.
I don't know why I was mad at the world, but I was mad
Uh-huh.
at the world. Like I didn't even
Uh-huh.
stop doing, immediately what I was doing.
Okay.
I just remember stealing things at a store, because I
Yeah.
was in a wheelchair. I felt like people wasn't looking at me. So I was just
Uh-huh.
sitting on stuff and, things like that. Um, but yeah, then I slowly, started to um I guess find myself again.
Mhm.
And my children had a lot to do with that, and my sister and
Okay.
my nieces and nephews at the time.
Because how old were you when you became an amputee?
21?
21.
Oh,
Wow.
I never realized you were that young when
I
it happened.
was 23.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, but I was young. What was it? 2001,
Mm.
and I'm 48 now. So
Okay.
Wow.
yeah, I
Wow.
was in my early 20s. That's why I just, at first was like, oh, well, I could just go. I can't go the rest. What am I going to do the rest of my life with
For
one
the
leg?
rest
Like,
for the rest of my life.
yeah,
But again, that's that family, friends, and faith.
you
That-
and I have always held on to that because I don't even know if they realize how much they
Mhm.
saved my life.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know,
Corey
Yeah.
says you were 24.
you
That's
Corey
your
said
baby.
24.
he would know.
He
Corey
was
said
there, baby.
Yeah.
24.
All of my
So,
children make me
mhm,
cry even just thinking about them because I have such a love for them and the way they have loved and showered me. And not only that, when
mhm,
you know what people go through and what they've battled, I've watched my children blossom and, just become beautiful individuals, that have just gone through things and been able to survive,
Mm-hmm.
and still come out on top.
yeah.
So
Well,
that
well,
has always pushed me.
I'm so glad you said that, Tahjee, because we was able to get hold to one of your children, and they want to leave you with a really nice message, really quick.
I'm nervous.
Of Tahjee,
It's all
and
good.
Dominique reached out to me and asked me if I would make a short video that just recaps who my mom is as a person. She has been someone that has been in my life for approximately 30 years now. And the thing about her is that her love has never changed. She has poured so much into all of her children. And the one motto that we have in our family is that iron sharpens iron. And so she has taught me how to stand in my own and to be my own person and to ensure that the iron that I possess is being instilled into others so that their iron also sharpens. I love her tremendously. I get emotional when I think about just who she has been to me as a person. She has not only been there for Corey, but more importantly, she has been there for Philip. She has seen me through some ups and she's seen me through some downs, but the one thing that she has always been is consistent. I love her, and Mom, just know that I am always here in your corner. And before I get emotional, I'm going to end the video, but just know that you are loved and I appreciate you. You are such a wonderful person, and thank you for teaching me to stand in my own.
Mm.
And I always felt unconditional love from my children. Always.
And because you give that, you receive it right back. That is
Yes.
such
Oh
a
my
that is
God.
such a
Always. I,
that is
Yeah.
such a beautiful thing.
I
So
will fight an army for my babies.
and
Yeah.
I love how you show up for them when it's pageant time. If we haven't seen you in a minute, it's just like you make sure you there front row. And you know, I love that because you know I had that in my gay parents as well. So I love to see that. But Tahjee, working with you in 20, I think it was 2007, 2008 or something. We went to Continental. You were Dream Girl Continental.
Yeah.
That was my first time seeing you after a long while. Um, you were one of the people that I had seen that came through an insurmountable obstacle and that was still going. I want you to speak to us about what it meant to you to start back in pageantry. Now you're an amputee. Your life has changed forever. How was that coming back to the pageantry circle?
It was scary, but I needed to push myself. I needed something to live for. And um, being an entertainer and being the lady Tahjee Iman was where I was able to have my most strength and confidence. So I wanted to return to pageantry because I needed pageantry allows me a goal to work towards, and it allows me to at times be better than what I am. You know, I want to get in shape. I want to do a couple things better. You know, I want to look a certain way. I want to feel a certain way. I want to be confident. And so it was most definitely scary. Um, but I felt as though also I owed it to my children because I had just started and I had not created enough of a legacy for them.
Mm.
So my children had a lot to do with me returning to pageantry because they needed to kind of see that I was okay. So as hard as it was, um, yeah.
Yeah. And I remember a tape from Sweetheart years ago, and baby, I think he was still in the wheelchair at the time. I don't know, but baby, you got that mic and you went slap off on them children. I said, oh, Tahjee, she not playing with the children. But then, like, when you became Dream Girl Continental, like I said, I got a chance to work with you. I saw you in that element. And let me tell you something, you were nobody's handicap. Okay.
Mm.
You needed nobody to help you out of
Mm.
nothing. You needed nobody to, and it was so inspiring. And I even seen you take stairs, and I was just like, "Whoa, this is beyond me." You know what I'm saying? I watched that strength, and I watched you go through that, and I remember, like, everybody was so happy for you. I remember everybody peeking in, saying stuff to you, and then the 12 didn't happen. We were like, "What the fuck had happened?" You know what I'm saying? So that's a big blow on a big stage, but then you kept going. You
Kept
kept going.
going.
Who's instilling this in you? I know you got your faith, I know you got your family, and I know you got your friends, but what about you? I say, I just got to keep on. I got to get this thing.
Well, it was still my family, my faith, and my friends. And I remember sitting in the audience and I watched Taj Mahal come out.
Hmm.
She put the corner and gown and she looked so stunning.
Yes.
And I said to myself, bitch, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
I and I made the decision right then that um I was supposed to be again on the stage capturing the title, you
Yeah.
know, and I don't think Continental was ever, you know, like this dream that I had. But growing up in Chicago, I felt as though being a Chicago girl, I'm supposed to
To have
be
that, yeah.
To
a
be
part of Continental.
continental.
You know, it was always, this is the cream of the cream. This is the best. This is the top in, female impersonation. Well, I'm the
Mhm.
top,
Mhm.
Okay.
darling. I belong
Yes.
here. At the time it
Yes.
became that I'm not in Continental backyard. Continental was in my backyard.
Oh,
Right.
And
yeah.
Right.
in 2008, I kind of knew that it was going to happen because at the time, Jim Flynn and I didn't have the best relationship. I was a
Okay.
loudmouth coming up. I was, a loudmouth. I was a person who carried a hammer in my purse, and I would swing on you if you, said something. And we passed several words because at the time his mouth was completely reckless.
Yeah.
So we passed a couple of words, and not only that, I came up again around, a person who he always stayed into it with. I was with him. So to him, he saw me as another problem,
Yeah, one of them.
as well.
Yeah.
So yeah. So, and I knew, I tried to brace them then. I say, no, he's going to slap me on my hand. He's going to slap me on my hand. He's going to teach me. And I knew he was going to slap me on my hand and send me on my way, because when I was in my wheelchair and I came there one year, I didn't get a table. And the guy who was at the ticket counter went and called him. And he came and he was so loud. And he said, well, you should have ordered a ticket online like everybody else. Now we can't accommodate you. So I don't know what to tell you. And I said, well, baby, y'all go get him. Nobody else comes in. Go get him. And I told him to never talk like that to me again. Either they find me a seat, or I'm going to call the city and let them know that they're refusing me because I'm handicapped. This will be the first year your white presentation doesn't go off on time.
Woo!
So they did go and get me a
Whoa!
seat.
Dang, Z, Chicago girls don't play that.
Did
Yes,
See,
you
that's
do.
you?
what,
Oh
and
my
that's what.
God.
So I knew whenever I returned that he was going to slap me on my hand.
Yes, ma'am.
For
Yeah.
our history. So I knew
Yeah.
I had to get that 1 year out that he
Uh-huh.
was going to, slap me on my hand. And I
Mm-hmm.
also remember
Mhm.
that year, what also gave me the most motivation was Ginger Grant, rest in peace. She told my son, Jermaine, oh, your mother never win. Look at her. She has one leg.
What?
So I said, oh, well, they're going to have to eat those words. I mean,
And
and
you and you were getting around better than her. She had two.
you know what? And it was, I remember also giving her and Jimmy a couple hands up the stairs a couple times. And I was like, look at this. Look at this.
Oh yes. Oh yeah.
You know, look
Yes.
at this.
Right.
Wow.
So can I ask you about that year and your dream girl? Talk about, because I've dealt with him and I've tried to prepare under him before. Talk about preparing for Continental Plus under Antonio King.
Ah, well, Antonio King at first, because he was hearing so many things or had heard so many things about me. He didn't want to be bothered with me. He, probably almost didn't want to accept my entry fee. But I did win his prelim, and we just began to know each other.
Mhm.
We began to talk and everything, and I absolutely love Antonio. We have an amazing relationship. And getting ready for
Mhm.
the pageant, then we became extremely close that year, and he was hurt
Mm-hmm.
because
I
he
remember
felt as
that.
though I deserved. He was hurt, but I also remember telling everybody I'm not going to make it. So I remember paying the dancers for second night and everything. I was like, you all could wait here at the door, because then they waited at the door. But here, no, here's your pay. Let's make sure everything is taken care of. It's going to
Mm-hmm.
be fine. We're going to sit right in the front row, but he was hurt. They did give him, I believe, best prelim that year
Okay.
to
Okay.
cushion the blow.
Yeah.
And we kind of felt like something was off because he called best prelim before he called the 12 and he gave it to him. I say, yeah, this is him softening the blow.
Yeah.
So yeah, but we have been friends ever since then. I absolutely love and respect Antonio. It was an amazing time getting ready with Antonio. He is involved with his queen
Mm-hmm.
Um, yes, an amazing person.
I
That's
concur.
awesome.
Shout out
Yes,
to
That
Antonio
is so
King.
awesome.
yes,
Shout out to my uncle Antonio Kane.
yes.
So, so between from that year at Continental Plus, did you do any other nationals prior to you deciding to move on to US of A at large?
No, I may have done some smaller pageants. Well, I moved to Atlanta in 2008. I was like, I need to get out of Chicago.
Okay.
And I moved to Shavonna had came to Atlanta and she was doing good. She was on the showcase. So I moved to Atlanta and I moved in with Shavonna, who is my best friend. And I started doing some other pageants like Crescent City and Atlanta Grand Diva and, pageants like that. And, I was successful in those.
Mhm.
And for some reason, I felt as though I needed to win something so they could see me.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So that's where US of A at Large came into play. Although US of A at Large was a pageant growing up that was already on my radar. It was Continental US of A at Large and EOY and, MBU when I first came down with Kareen Alexander, and when like Flame first won. It was like, but those pageants were always on my radar. So I was like, okay, well, let me, go over here and see what US of A at Large has for me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So you decide to do US of A at large. You show up. You say you just had that experience at Continental Plus.
It was a couple
Are you
years
like,
because I think I went to US of A at Large 2010. So it was a couple years. And I think I got first runner up 2010 to April Rain.
To April Rain, who no longer
all right?
reigns no more.
And I thought
Okay.
I won that year.
We all thought
But
you won that year. What you talking about? We all thought you won. We like, what happened? Are y'all serious?
but I
Oh
think
my
they
goodness.
had a fear of was I going to be able to reign with one leg? Everybody was so concerned about, she has one leg.
Mm-hmm.
And you
You
know what,
know,
Tahjee? And you know what? Speaking of one leg, you also let us get as comfortable as we could with you having one leg because you created a talent around your one leg. Every now and then I fall apart and you would take that leg off and leave it on stage and perform and the crowd would go bonkers. Everybody would go bananas. How did you come up with this talent and how did you feel so comfortable with taking your leg off in front of a judgmental group of people?
because I already knew returning to the stage, the main focus was already going to be the questions are in your head while I'm trying to present myself. How does it go on? How does it go off? How does it move? How does she move in it?
Mm-hmm.
So I began to just think about something. I knew that I had to accept that I was not the person I was before. So, okay, I can't dance right now. So I can't go up here and do something foolish. Then I'll be
Mm-hmm.
tripping all over myself. And then they're going to say, why's she doing that? She knows she got one leg.
Mm-hmm.
So I needed something that was just going to get all of the questions out of the way, but still allow me to show um, the pain that I was in and also the passion that I have for the art form.
Mm.
Okay.
So just listening to that song, it just kind of fell into place. I wanted people to see, oh, this is how it comes on. This is how it comes off. This is how I put it on. This is how I move in it. Let's get all of that out the way.
Okay.
So when I come out here for the next category, you won't focus on the leg anymore. You'll
Yeah.
be able to focus on me.
I mean, yeah.
So yeah, that's how that talent came about and why I, chose to do that way.
Mm.
So you're at US of A at large the year that you win, and you go in, and are you like, I'm winning this, or were you just like, let's see what happens?
The first year I was like, I kind of felt, let's see what happens. Although the people who I came up under, they prepared to win when they showed up. So I knew that I still had that same preparation skill in me. You know, if I'm showing up, I'm coming to win. I'm not here to get my feet wet. I'm not here for none of that. You know, I'm here to win. You know, if I don't win, then I drop the ball. I don't want to say they cheated, but I just feel like if I don't win, I drop the ball. You know,
Yes.
so the first time there was, you know, okay, let me see if they see me.
Okay.
And after placing where I placed, I said, okay, they see me. I just got to come back. Okay, we're going to come back and do this. So coming back in 2011, I most definitely came to win and didn't care who was there. Who was
Yeah.
there. I came to win, didn't care who was in it, didn't care about none of that. You know, they had given me just enough to know, you know, that I could win. So yeah,
And was
coming
that a
in, I
cha-
most definitely came to win.
and was that a defining moment in your career? Because US of A is one of the big ones.
Yes, it was, because I was able to do things how I wanted to, and everything came out beautifully. I was able to design the talents how I wanted to, and everything was executed. I even had a lift, you know, my talent, something I never did before. So
Yeah.
I felt spectacular. You know, it was one of my first beaded gowns from Christina Ross, you know, so
Mhm.
I felt absolutely amazing. Yes, I felt like a winner. And I felt from there, I was able to um, show the world
Yes.
that, okay, yeah, my flats could walk over anybody, boo.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, let's
And
go.
and,
Because, you
and,
know, then it
and
was
you did
girls in
that.
the pageant. It was probably like 32, 33 girls. You know,
Yes.
it's not
Yes.
like now when, you know, if you get a dozen, you know, then
Yeah.
you had to whoop some girls.
You really had to whoop them. You had to
you
whoop them.
you had to whoop some girls. So
You definitely
yeah,
right.
it most definitely was a defining moment. You know, I felt invincible.
How do you pick your pageants that you want to do?
Most of the pageants that I wanted to do or I have done were pageants that I wanted to do from my younger years. Continental
Hmm.
US of A. I haven't been to EOY yet, but you know, that's on my list. You know, MBU, MBA, because of the legacy that it holds. I haven't been there yet, but I'll be there to win those. Um,
I love it. You'll be able to win. I love it.
I'll be
you
there to
know,
win
so
those.
I'll be there to win those.
Westland, I, you know, selected Westland because the love and the respect that I had for D West. I was like one of the first person that he interviewed for his intimate moments.
I used
And
to
I
love
was so
intimate moments.
humbled, you know, by that I knew that I would, you know, be his queen.
Hmm.
So I kind of select my pageants from the formers and the owners, as well if it's someplace I feel I'll enjoy. If it's someplace I feel like I'll going back, that I would enjoy returning to every year as a former,
Mhm.
you know, because I've never just like to compete in pageants to compete in pageants.
Mm.
You know.
So you go from that. Actually, let's pause. So you're Miss USA at large, and then I get to meet you for the first time, and then we get to travel across the country together. And and I don't know if you know this. It was a really dark time in my life because that was my that because I still was very unsure of myself, and I'll just never forget the conversations that you would have with me, and you would just be like, "This is your reign. This is your year. Whatever it is that you feel, just be you, whatever that is." And I was having a difficult time in my relationship, and I never forget you told me, you said, if he's not treating you right, leave his ass. Move on. Fuck that nigga. That's basically, and basically, and then I had so detached myself from the spiritual world and from religion,
Mm.
but you helped renew that for me. that and I say I tell people all the time how there was a time in my life where I was close to just saying, you know what, I'm done with life. I no longer want to live. But I feel like I won Miss US, because people, whatever people say what they want to say, but I feel like I won Miss USA that year so that you could come into my life, so that you
Mm,
could,
mm.
so you could save me.
Oh wow, girl, don't start me to crying.
I listen.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, but
I
it's
I
true
I love that,
because
and I
just the
appreciate that so
real
much.
conversations we had were just they were just so profound. And then we would talk on the phone, and just who you were to me that year, it just really changed just the trajectory of my life. And I can never thank you enough for who you were for me. I'm sorry, y'all.
No, listen, I'm so glad you're able to give Taji her flowers because as I'm reading the comments, so many people are saying, I love Taji. One guy even talking about he almost committed suicide and just something that you did without even knowing kept him here. You know, did you set out to be this kind of person or is that innately in you?
Um, no, but I believe that was one of the reasons the Lord slowed me down was to be a vessel for people. So at times when people come into my line of sight, I don't take it lightly. I
Hmm.
believe that they're in my line of sight for um, a purpose. And I believe that I'm supposed to share this beacon of inspiration and be a ray of light the same way that I was able to feel it once again.
Hmm.
I believe it's for me to share that. Um, I don't know if that makes sense,
Yeah, it
but
makes a lot of sense.
um, I don't believe as though anybody comes into my life. It's almost like I could feel. I don't want to say I'm crazy, but I feel like sometimes the Lord is saying, "Okay, this one is yours,"
Hmm.
and it's just some kind of connection that's there. So that's why I do most definitely try to take out the time, especially when people stop me.
Hmm.
I try to take out the time to always hear them,
Mhm.
and what they're saying, because for some reason I believe the Lord slowed me down, for that reason. So, yeah, it wasn't who I started out to be, no, but I believe that is now my purpose. And that's what allowed me to continue to be here on the earth.
Wow.
I love that.
Oh Lord. Okay.
Dominique got us all. Dominique, I'm gonna have to smoke a
I'm
blunt or
No,
something.
I,
You gonna have
sorry.
me? You got,
I
you got me.
love that woman. I love
Yeah,
that. I mean, this
and I
this
can, US of
woman.
A just put such a fire in me. And, the fans and the supporters of US of A, they
yes,
love the queen.
yeah.
That's the
Mhm.
pageant that teaches you how they love and appreciate the queen. So it was, just how do you can't let this year go by and not enjoy it. I was enjoying every second of it.
Mm.
Mhm.
And I had one of the biggest blessings as well because Whitney Page, rest in peace, was able to reign with us as well.
Yeah.
And she was stuck up when we first started traveling. And I won't say stuck up. I'll say that because that's my G by now. I can say that. But
Uh,
she was Miss Fur Coat and us. While we was
yeah,
just pussy and having fun. She was, And then I
yeah.
remember one time in Vegas, she looked over and said, "Classic pussy." So she
Yeah.
had broken down,
Uh,
as well. And that year she actually, became my godmom, which was one of the biggest blessings to me as well, because I grew up watching her, the eyes of Whitney
the
Page,
eyes of
and,
Whitney Page.
wanting to being influenced, by her, someone who I,
Yeah.
had not met, but then to actually travel and reign with her and be able to talk with her and hold conversations with her. And she actually said one time we were sitting down, she said, people keep asking if you're my daughter. And she said, well, it wouldn't be a bad thing for me,
Oh,
you know. And I
yes.
said, well, okay, G Ma. Um, and that was also a large part of why I came back to Continental Plus when I did, because when I gave up US of A at large and she was there, she called me in her room and she showed me her gown. She said, this is my gown. I'm going back. I'm going back. She said, I'm going back, G baby. And she said, you know what? You're going back after me and I'm going to crown you. So that's why I came in 2014, because she said, I'm going back in 13 and you're coming back in 14 and I'm going to crown you. And I said, Jima, I'm not going to be ready. Like, I need some more time. I cannot go back to that pageant plan. Like, I have to have this. I have to have this. I have to have this. She said, G baby, let me tell you something. What you don't realize about you. She said, your B game is your A game.
Oh,
Woo!
She said, you'll be ready.
Woo!
oh, I like that.
Woo!
I like that.
Woo!
So that was devastating for me, when she passed. And I wasn't actually able to be crowned by her, but I was also, ecstatic that she had her crowning moment.
Yes, I was happy for her.
Yeah.
I always thought that she should have been a Miss Continental even a long time ago. But
you know
they do what they do. But
so yeah.
yeah, yeah, wow. And so for you winning Continental, right? Because a lot of Chicago girls, Chicago bred girls, don't get that opportunity, right? Because like you said, it's in the backyard. And Jim get to see y'all on personal levels. He get to see y'all out at the clubs. He get to know your business sometime because people are spearing your business. What was that feeling to say, okay, I'm another Chicago girl who finally got this crown that they said I could never get?
Well, I don't know, but going in that year, I was going to absolutely win. You had to flat out. I wanted to make it undeniable. I wanted to make it to the point where if you cheated me, the whole world know that you cheated me, and it would have been a win for me.
Okay.
So I went in with the mindset that no, me and my camp are winning. We good. We baby, let's go. And it's something because I had 7, 8 brand new hair pieces that didn't even ship out. They were still in Atlanta. I had a hair piece that Shavana threw in the back of the van when we was pulling out, and I had a bun. But I wasn't even bothered by that. I had that bun prelim night. All I kept saying and feeling was, I need to bend this corner.
Mm-hmm.
I wore that bun all night, prelim night. Oh,
Hey.
baby, this is a piece of hair. I don't care about no piece of hair. Like, I need to bend this corner.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I went in with all the confidence of, I'm winning this year. It
Mm.
was the confidence of girls that I, look up to, that I learned from, like Victoria, who
Mm-hmm.
had that confident air, and Santana T. Summers.
Mm.
Who believe ain't nobody in blonde hair whooping me, baby. If that blonde ain't out your scalp, don't worry about it. You're not whooping me. So, it was it was that confidence going in, and to finally make it to, we always say, oh, just get me to the 5. We
Mm.
always say that, just get me to the 5.
And I got
But
it from there.
getting to the 5 is not as easy as you always think being there.
Right.
You know, it's a surreal moment that you actually have to be in the moment and understand what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So
You can't even explain it.
yeah, I can't. I can't even explain it, but you know, I knew from the moment Nikki Adams asked me, well, can I call you the Lady Tahjee? Well, for now you can. And I just kind of felt like it's on. I felt like they saw me at that moment when they let me into the five. They kind of say, okay, well, that year, if she wins, she wins.
Right.
You
And
know.
and how many times had you did Continental?
I believe that was my third time.
The third
I
time.
went in
Okay.
'95. I was Miss Chubby World, which was Ginger Grant's queen. In '95, that's when I met Terry and Dina Cass. Um, and I went back in 2008, and then my winning year, 2014. So three times.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
nice. Okay, nice. So when did you get the name the Storyteller?
Here, I believe it was Neandre.
Neandre Bonet.
Yes, I believe it was Niboski who gave me that.
Yeah.
Um, I already knew, returning to the stage that I needed to present something else was out of the norm. And not to say it's
Mhm.
just out of the norm, but I can't move around that fast on stage. So I was I knew I had to be a person who was on my lyrics, and I have to allow you to feel the emotion and
Mhm.
the passion of the song, with me. So that's why I do the music that I love and I'm passionate about, because I also believe as an entertainer, yeah, you should do what the crowd loves, but also sometimes I want you to go in your car and try to find that song I did.
I'm telling you. That's what we
I
do.
want you to
That's
be
what
at
we do.
work the next day trying to Google and say, what?
That's exactly what we do.
Song. That's also, I believe, a job of an entertainer. Let me introduce something new to you,
Mhm.
instead
Yeah.
of the norm. Because, sometimes if we hit Malira again, we be ready to.
You know what, Tahjee, they could really no, because I was about to make a post the other day of songs that could be retired, and Malira is top on the list because people think they be really dragging if they do Three is a Crowd and all this stuff. I'm like, fuck these songs now, y'all. And I like how you do. It's funny you say that because when you perform, I always fuck with Kiana Castine. Any song you perform, she came with. When you get in her car, it's all she play over and over and
Goddaughter.
over. I'll be like, girl, you are not Tahjee, bitch.
Goddaughter. But I love that. That lets
Yeah,
me know that I still have a place and a purpose, in this industry, especially when it's a time of Rue Girls.
yeah,
And I mean,
yeah,
it's not a read. That's what she has done for entertainment, and what these girls make is absolutely amazing.
yeah,
Like, you know, but it just makes you still feel as though you have a place and a purpose,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
standing next to the up and coming, not intimidated by them in any way, but
But do you feel girls are intimidated by you?
you know what? I didn't at one time.
Okay,
I didn't at one time because I've always been a person to pay attention to me.
okay.
I
Mhm.
never paid attention to anybody
To
else.
anybody
I
else?
always try to pay attention to me. Like I, would tell myself in the competition, if you can find somewhere that I could take 1 point off myself, I can't be upset if I didn't win. Don't worry
Hmm.
about if she had 90 points off her.
Yeah.
You opened up the door if they could take one off you.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I always paid attention to myself. And of course, at a certain point, you really just feel that the world sometimes feel how you feel. I love to be here and I love to be in competition. I
Hmm.
don't really not paying attention that you consider me a threat, although I am a person that prepares well,
Hmm.
Mhm.
but if you're here, I would think that you did too. It's a matter of what happens on the stage. I remember Coffee saying a pageant is about 8 minutes.
Mm.
It's 8 minutes to be your best. So,
Mm.
I've always looked at it like that. But with some of the recent things that has taken place, or things that I've seen, or the way some people have acted towards me, yes.
And I say that, Tahjee, because there was a pageant held a couple years ago, and you were the subject of a contestant's speech, even though you hadn't even been in the pageant. And I'm curious because we like to go up for people and they live reads and stuff that they do, but sometimes we never take into consideration how one must feel when their name is being spoken. So this happened at a pageant.
You did sit back because let's be very clear, you'd have never beat me in those plastic flats. Now I'm sure you'll hear their support and want some type of retaliation indeed, but be very careful to me because I took it hobble hobble, bobble and weave.
So when you're at home and of course after this happened, people are passing this around. What is the feeling behind something like that?
My first feeling was because I had love for her, I was hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I was
Mm-hmm.
hurt. And there's a couple times that I felt bullied in life. And the one time I felt bullied was when Ginger Grant said that to my child. And when she said that, because nobody actually knows what it takes for me to get up and put that leg on and move.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody
Mm.
knows that every step is pain or that I'm in pain all of the time moving. You
Mm.
know, so I was hurt at first, but as I paid attention to what they said, these were things that you wanted to say to me anyway.
Mm.
Mm.
Because first, I never intended on doing the pageant that year. Never intended on it. And come to find out, you called around several times to ask. Didn't know why, but after I saw the speech, I realized why. So I was never coming to do the pageant, but you wanted to say this anyway to me. And my hurt, I realized that the same person that you speak of, me, you're intimidated by.
Mm.
Mm.
And they want to say, oh, this is old school reading. Well, if you all remember, folks got popped in their head for old school reading.
Yes, they did now.
And this was never old school reading because they talked about chalky makeup and dry wigs, or people, having no talent, but things that you couldn't say about me. But everything that you said in there was not true. It's plastic flats, and she's standing there in plastic shoes. I have the most expensive flats in the game.
You better not be right here no red bottom flat
You
now.
don't have anything in your closet that could walk up to my flat.
Mm.
That was first. And then you demonstrated and tried to do a walk like me. Like what? You don't know what mental headspace I was in to handle that. And actually, it bothered me so bad. I said to myself, I'm gonna get when I see her, I'm gonna get her. I'm gonna pounce on her like a gorilla.
Mm.
I felt like that because I felt bullied.
Yeah.
Mm.
I felt bullied. I wasn't gonna get her. And it just
So
so
what
happened that every
stopped you?
time, every time I saw her, I wasn't able to. I had just had surgery. The first time I saw her, so I had stitches. And the second time I had a revision of surgery, so I had more stitches.
Mm.
So by the third time came around, I said, I hear you, Lord.
Mm. I was
I
just
hear
about
you.
to ask you that.
I'm going to
I
let
was
it go
just
because you don't play about me. And most of these people, including the people who she said agreed with her that the speech was okay, you all will live the life that you deserve.
Mm. You will live the life you deserve.
And how
yes,
can I be
ma'am.
upset at somebody who wants to be me? How can I be upset at somebody who risked their life to look like me,
Mm.
to accomplish what I've accomplished, to walk behind these expensive flats? How can I be upset at that? So I let it go
Mm.
and
So are you,
realize I'm beyond blessed and I'm in a peaceful place and don't
mm,
allow anyone or anything to remove you from that peaceful place.
Mm.
mm,
Mm.
that's that's
Mm.
that's that's amazing. That's amazing because, baby, it's hard to walk around people that wronged you or did something to you or said something. That people don't understand how much willpower that takes. They don't understand how much prayer that takes. They don't understand how much restraint that takes. So kudos to you for making peace with that and realizing that, hey, I I don't have to retaliate because,
Mm-mm.
well, you know what I've learned, Taji, in a lot of instances when I ever felt like somebody's wronged me, when they say vengeance is mine, it really is the Lord's. It really is the Lord. Because you don't have to fight your own. You can go out there and do it and chance yourself again in some type of trouble or something, but you really don't have to do nothing.
No,
You really don't have to do nothing. Wow.
And
no.
so
I'm
and
gonna keep
so
living in my blessed life, living and walking in my purpose.
mhm.
You know, you are where you are and you have what you have from watching me.
Mm,
You know,
yeah.
um, I'm okay.
Oh, yeah,
You know, thank the
you're
Lord for
you're
growth.
you no, hey, you're more than okay.
And that
You're
same leg you
absolutely
talk about, you could
fabulous.
whoop me if they took my other leg and my two arms.
Amen.
You could whoop me if they wheel me out there in the wheelbarrow.
So your continued growth and with your spirituality, because that seems to be the foundation of who you are. Because that's how you came to me. Because and you may not remember this. I will never forget. We were in Las Vegas. We were at Miss Sin City. It was me, you, Raquel, and I think Whitney was there. And you asked me what was my relationship with God.
Mm.
Mm,
And so that's your foundation. And in spite of what everybody says about how, oh yeah, we're not in, we're supposed to not be entitled to praise him or worship him because of the life that we live. What kept you like, what, I can't listen to all that because you said in your interview at Miss Gay USA at large, you said, I just can't believe that a God that's supposed to be so merciful would be so hard. I can't remember the words that you said, but you said the people, the person, the God that people try to say hate us, you cannot see how that merciful God could be the same person that they're talking about. That was just about around about what you said in that interview. So for those of us that try to find that same peace and that same foundation that you have, what advice do you give?
You know, I I don't go to church as much as I used to. I did, but then it became a fashion show and a distraction. And so is having sex with so, and the church became messy and everything. And to me, it just became a distraction and a place where you wasn't able to focus in on the word and a connection with God. So my advice is, you know, what works for me is having my own relationship with God, connecting with Him wherever and whenever. You know, having your own relationship and believing in, you know, your own understanding and your own connection, not allowing others to sway you,
Mhm.
you know, from how you feel or how you feel the Lord feels about you.
Mhm.
You
mm,
know, I'm not a bad person. I mean, I'm not the best, but I'm not a bad
Mhm.
person. I just
mhm,
don't know. I don't believe this God that you all say that's so merciful and amazing and all this. You know, I'm gonna get struck down and he hates me and you know, he hates my lifestyle and he hates what I'm doing. And,
mhm,
you
mhm,
know, I do think it's a different thing if you are, you know, out there and you are doing I don't want to say various acts with various people, but to love one person,
Hmm.
you know,
As he loves us.
yeah, no, I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to believe, that I'm condemned to hell for that. I'm condemned to hell for how I feel. Where did these feelings come from? I didn't give them to myself.
Yeah. I always say that too. I believe in that
I didn't give them to
wholeheartedly.
myself.
Yes, ma'am.
Cause I always tell somebody, you ain't got no heaven or hell to put me in.
And they would try to put you in one so fast.
And if so, where is it?
You, so no,
Yeah.
get your own connection with the Lord. Know Him for
Hmm.
yourself. So yeah.
What's the truth about yourself you're still learning to accept?
Truth about myself that I'm still learning to accept. But I'm still growing. I'm still learning.
Hmm.
Um, I can always be better. So yeah. But I'm still
So,
learning. I'm still growing. I don't know it all. The more I learn, I'm able to pass on, which I believe is my purpose and what I really enjoy, to always become better or be better.
I like that. I like
and
that.
so, what advice would your 48-year-old self not only would give to a 20-year-old Andrea,
Uh-huh.
but to a 20-year-old anybody? What do you think is the best advice? Because we're living in a very difficult time with this
Hmm.
administration, that that we're being demonized at every turn, right? And so through your life experiences and everything that you've learned and everything that you've been through, what advice would you give once again to the 20-year-old Andrea Claiborne and to the 20-year-old anybody that's in this community?
I would give myself the advice. One thing I kind of wish I would have did, probably sound crazy, is I wish I would have went to college and become a lawyer or something. I don't know why. So I don't know. The advice I probably would give myself is to go to school and dive into something else. Dive into a career
Mhm.
and stay away from so much bigotry.
Mm.
When it comes to um, the risque living of checks and credit cards and doing things like that. Um, the advice that I would give to someone else, uh, that's a little challenging.
Mhm.
Um, from the experience I've had in my life,
Excuse me.
would have to say some of the things that I have tried to live by now, such as always strive for excellence because excellence
Hmm.
has no competition.
Yes.
And
Mhm.
in all that you do, get your life, but don't catch your death.
Mm.
Oh my God.
Get your life, but don't catch your death.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Shit. Put up your
In
glass,
all things
Tahjee.
that you do, get your life, but don't catch your death. Whether, that comes from working too much and letting life pass and, you
Mm.
dying, or drugs and alcohol testing, or
Mm-hmm.
trying something out, and getting an addiction
Mm-hmm.
to it. So in all things in life, because we may try something, we may experiment with something, it is life.
It is like
So get your life, but don't catch your death getting your
get
life.
your life, but don't catch your death.
That's
Mm.
amazing, Tahjee. I love that.
You know, um,
About mhm.
and
About a
also to
couple of weeks
understand that
ago.
we're
Okay,
all
go ahead.
servants. I believe we're all
Yeah.
servants. Our purpose, or I believe my purpose, is to serve. We're all servants in a form in this life, and I
Mm-hmm.
believe sometimes with serving others, you can find your purpose. At times when um, things may be dark or you're confused about some things, become a servant.
Yeah.
Become a servant.
About a couple of weeks ago, there was a video circulating of this gay guy saying that the LGB wanted a divorce from the TQIA. Do you think that that's real? Do you really think that there is a division? Because what he said was the LGB did not sign up for our issues. They didn't sign up to fight for the stuff that we are trying to say are our rights. Have you ever found that to be true, that some parts of the community try to separate themselves from us because for whatever reason they don't understand us, or that it makes life harder for them? Or what are your thoughts on that? Because he was so convicted in what he was saying, and so it just really made me think that, because I've experienced it. I mean, I've heard people say that before, that y'all go do your own thing, because what you guys are doing is totally different, because what I'm doing is a sexual preference. What you guys are doing is totally different. What do you think about that?
There's always been a disconnect, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Sometimes they added the T in all the other letters, probably for funding. But there's always been a disconnect. I mean, goodness, you could go to No Fats, No Fams. But
Yeah.
Mhm.
it's always been a disconnect in the community. And um, the T, I believe, has always felt it in one way or another, whether it's the T being exclusively there for just entertainment,
Mhm.
or being ignored in public, for clocky reasons. Um, you know, um, so there's always been a disconnect until it's time for her to be used.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And the T has been one of the strongest leaders through history,
Mhm.
and has helped to raise, you know, a lot of the community.
Mhm.
Has been a mother figure, and, have done things to help the younger generation up under. But the lifestyle sometimes that the T has taken was kind of shone upon, because they were, the working girl, or, something like that, or, the girl who wrote checks, or things like that. So it's always been a disconnect there, if you ask me. So it's
Mm-hmm.
not surprising. It's not a shock that some people do feel like that. And, most definitely now with this new administration doing what they are doing,
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are probably trying to distance themselves because they don't want to help in that fight. But the T is strong enough. The T is going to always fight, you know.
And yeah, absolutely. Hey, I absolutely agree with you.
So yeah,
Yeah.
the T is gonna always fight.
Hmm.
Tahjee, let me ask you this. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Let me ask you this. With so much love and so much admiration, sometimes that's a feat. And sometimes it's something we don't ask for, but to be put on a pedestal and to inspire so many people, to be loved by so many people, who is that for you? Because in order to inspire the way you do, someone has to inspire you. Who is that person for you?
I find inspiration from everyone and sometimes a lot of things around me because I never saw my grandmother complain and I saw her go through some things and I tried to kind of live that same way. Even if you're going through something, don't
Hmm.
complain. And I do believe that the saying is so true. You never know what somebody else is going through. Somebody else will always love to take your place. I believe that. You know, um, I believe it's a lot of people who are just going through things that you can't imagine. You have some people
Hmm.
who are dealing with cancer
Hmm.
diagnosis,
Hmm.
who are kind of who going through chemo, who are just fighting some demons that you can't imagine mentally. So that, just inspires me to be in a positive place, because it can always be worse.
Right.
It can always be worse, so that's where I mainly, just draw my inspiration from life
Hmm.
and the truth that it can always be worse, you know.
Yeah, you can. What do you feel like pageantry is at now?
um,
Come on, sis.
Pageantry is pageantry. It's not where it was. You know, um, what do I think it is? It's not in a bad place, but it could be in a better place.
Could be in a better place. How do
Mhm.
we get
I
there?
I do believe now there are so many people that are speaking or say negative things that make people not want to be involved in pageantry.
Mm.
Or sometimes systems do some things that make people not want to be involved in pageantry. So I believe we could get in a better place if a lot of the negativity stops around pageantry from a lot of the people who don't even go or participate in pageants.
Right. And have the most to say.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
I believe pageantry can also be a little better if sometimes a little bit more is offered in pageantry and people feel as though pageantry will be fair.
Hmm.
Although you never really sometimes get back what you put into pageantry. I don't know if people even realize that, but a lot of times when people are competing in pageants and they win these pageants, they win it out of, the passion of what they want to do. They're there because they love it. It's not, always because of the money that you get
Right.
from it, because you spend so much money winning and reigning, so um I don't believe it's in a bad place, but it can be in a better place. And I just think a lot of the negativity, you
It's
know,
make mm-hmm.
could slow
Yeah,
down,
yeah.
you know, from the
And so when
comments that people just say.
so when you think about title holders, because I mean I got to witness you reign, and, you know, and it helped shaped me in you know in a major way. When you think about the ideal national title holder and what she should be to the pageant that she
Mm,
represents or he represents. Because right now, what do we know? That people think that just being good looking and putting out 1,000 promos in 365 days, that's successfully reigning
mm.
to you. And I mean, and I'm talking because I know you. I know you. What is, in your opinion, what is the definition in these days and time, in this day and time, what is the definition of a successful reign and what a title holder should be to the system that they represent?
I like that question, Dominique.
We've kind of said the word a couple times tonight, and a national representative, in my opinion, is always a servant.
Mm,
They're a servant of the community. They're a servant of the system. They are there for the fans. They're there for the supporters. You know, it's not always for them to make the representative feel amazing. It's for the representative to make them feel welcomed and amazing and loved and appreciated for what they are doing to help keep the system alive by being there. You know, so I believe that a representative job is to be a servant, a visible servant, you know, to take the time to appreciate, you know, the people, you know, not to be grand and, you know, not mingle among the people and this and that, you know, just want to take the stage. No, you got to hit the floor. You know, you gotta hit the streets with these people.
you
You
got
know,
to.
so it's to be a servant.
You
Mm-hmm.
got to go talk to the contestants too. You got to get people
Yeah.
excited about wanting to compete. People who may not never thought about the system. You got to get out there and talk to them too. You'll be surprised what happens when a queen walks up to a girl who looks up to them and tell them about, you know, being a part of what they're a part of. You know, it does something to them. You know, so yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Tamara
I agree.
Chevalier is good for that. Tamara
Yes.
Chevalier can make you make you feel like you can win.
Listen to me, Tajee, for real. We was at
Tamara Chevalier can make you feel like you can win anything.
anything,
And you
anything.
know, as a servant, it is for you to instill and help people see the best in themselves, to pull out the best in
It is.
themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, we was at a friend's house one time, and Tamara was there, and I'm back to Kiana ass, Kiana Castellan. We was in there, and baby, she had shot so much smoke up Kiana ass. Kiana got back in
It's
the car.
not smoke.
She said, "Yeah, it was smoke." She got back in that car. She said, "Oh, bitch, I'm going to Black Universe." I said, "Girl, sit your motherfucking ass down and go on somewhere. Get your ass out of here, girl. You ain't finna win that shit, girl." Tamara made that girl felt like she was Harper and they Christian when she first won Continental. I said, "Girl, get out of here.
That
Get out of here.
listen, that is your job
That's your
as a
job."
national representative. You are a servant. You're a servant of the people, the community. You're a servant.
And that's why you
Yeah.
had such beautiful reigns. But I'm gonna ask you this because when we talk about, I've been at many tables, and we always talk about who we think are the greatest entertainers ever, and along with Raquel Lord, along with like
Mm.
the Nicole Loves and stuff, your name is always brought up in the top five. I would love to know who your top five is,
Oh,
entertainers of all time.
my top five entertainers of all time.
Yes.
Um, Raquel Lord,
Mm-hmm.
Tim Bohart,
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Tiffany Ariagas.
Okay.
Try not to say me. Besides me.
She won't. She won't. Don't worry about it.
Mm.
You are not in danger of being this five. The bottom five.
Uh,
I love you, baby daddy.
Nicole, Erica Renee Christian.
Okay.
And I want to round it off with Nicole Love.
That's
But
an
I also
excellent one.
kind of want to add
Okay.
Giselle in there
Wow.
too. Because
Oh, absolutely. Young
I
legend.
just,
Yeah.
I always call her young legend. Young legend.
I
Young
just most
icon.
definitely, I
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
like, she is most
Absolutely.
definitely
Oh my God.
a
Oh my God.
beast.
So
Beast.
so Taji, let me ask you. Let's say today. I don't. I know this sounds a little morbid. I don't want it to be morbid, but let's just
Mhm.
say today is the final day of the career of the
Mhm.
lady Tahjee Iman. Give her eulogy of what she
Oh,
was
Oh,
to the community
not good.
and what
I
she
should.
left as her legacy.
Let me go get my keyboard. I'm gonna play along with this.
oh my goodness. Um, uh, a leader, a friend, an aunt, a mother, a confidant, a passionate person who did her best to serve as a beacon of hope and light and inspiration
Mm.
to those around her, a servant of her community, mm, a person who loved to help the younger generation, and someone who tried to make today better than yesterday.
Yeah.
Was that
And
enough?
please know you let me please and let me tell you, you have done that.
I,
You did that years ago. And I tell you, and when I say the eulogy, I don't mean the end of your life. I mean when you say I'm done with this career, but I just want you to understand what you mean to people. And sometimes, I know that you may not even realize
I
the
don't.
um the I just don't think you realize the reach, just the extent of what you have been to people.
I
You
don't.
have
I can't
made
say that
people.
I'm so grateful because sometimes when I'm out, every now and then, someone comes up and they talk to me and tell me a story from years ago and, how they met me. And, and it's moments like that that I absolutely love and I'm humbled by and I appreciate. And it helps for me to understand my purpose all over again.
Mhm.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
I have been blessed to feel that
Yeah.
several times.
Yeah. And just understanding your presence in a room. I don't know if you know it too. When you walk up a room, it's many people can walk into a room. Very few people can light up the room. And you're one of those persons whose presence take over the room. Like a lot of times, like, so I tip you, be on the stage. Like, here, take this. Because your energy radiates throughout the entire room. And that's a blessing to have. I want you to always be that. You know, a lot of times we'll never know what you're
Thank
going
you.
through. A lot of people don't know what the strong people have to deal with, and how they have to go get their energy recharged. You know, we just don't know. And to always show up and that type of way, that is a blessing amongst the community, because we don't get it from everybody. Because sometimes this
Mm-mm.
community can feel like a who's who club. Sometimes this community can feel like a sorority, a fraternity, and you're just not welcome. You know what I'm saying? And somebody, and which is why I love Mike Cassadine so much, because everybody was invited to the club. Everybody
Hmm.
was invited to the party, because you don't know that one person like me, that one child that was sitting over needing some type of guidance, you know, to bring him in. Oh, some never worried that he's a loudmouth. Never worried that he's that. I still got to show him some love, because why is he a loudmouth? What has he been through in life? You know, you
Mhm.
don't know what people had to fight against just coming up. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah,
always say, we have to get into the minds of people and give people grace and just not always judge people. And we always need that. So never change, never deviate from that, because your light is always seen. There's a
absolutely.
legion of people that love you. I can't say that much. You have
Mhm.
a legion of fans that want to be like you, who who who
Mhm.
hold you in high regards, you know, and that is one of the most beautiful thing in the world. But I'm gonna call a few names out. I just want you to say a little bit about them. You don't have to say a lot, just a little bit. Shavonna Brooks.
Shavonna Brooks is my best friend. I absolutely love her. And I know she probably thinks that I've been an amazing friend to her, but I don't think she knows that she has been even more of an amazing friend to me. That's my best friend, and I absolutely love her. Absolutely love her. I will fight half an army for her.
It was so funny. So it's so funny. She said, "I got so sick of beating bitches up," and Tahjee be right back talking to him. She just put that in the call.
Oh my
She don't
goodness.
play about me. I love her temper. She has my temper when I was younger, and she never let it go.
She don't like, oh, she don't play about it.
See, I was able to drop it, to let it go, but she was never able to let it go. But that is my best friend. I absolutely love her and
Tatiana Moulton.
cherish her.
Tatiana Moulton.
Oh, that is my Dr. Princess. Tatiana is
Mm.
my only daughter. I have goddaughters, but that is my only daughter. I absolutely love my princess. I love who she is. I love who she is to me. I love who the woman she has become. I admire her through the struggles that she had to get through that a lot of people don't even know to be where she is today.
Mm.
She is to me one of the most intelligent and brilliant people
Mm,
in this world. If you ask me, I think she could run the country.
Mm.
She's a person that could absolutely do no wrong in my eyes. None.
mm. Jermaine Iman.
Manny is my baby. He's my soldier. I absolutely love him. Um, he is another one of my children that absolutely makes me feel like mom. That's my baby, and I love him to death. I'm absolutely proud of him as well for the things that he has been through and sometimes are going through, and he's able to make it out. And I love how he has become his own person,
Mhm.
and the
And what
success
about
that he builds in Chicago.
And what about the beautiful, the sexy, the handsome, the chocolate, Corey Iman?
I absolutely love Corey. His presence. He's another one that does not play about his mother. He's another one that absolutely makes me. I'm mother, you know. I'm mother. And his love, like so much of my love, the love I get from my children can just bring me to tears. And I'm super proud of him being able to get through the things that he has had to get through and still
Mhm.
be able to champion things in his life,
Mhm.
you know, and come out on top.
And come out on top.
So I'm absolutely proud of the man, the individual that he has grown into and remained.
And remained. Shout out to you, Corey. Well, last but not least, your fiance, Sean.
um, I love him and I'm appreciative for who he is in my life and how he has loved on me.
Mhm.
Um, I realized being with him that too, love and relationships is not always 50-50. You know, sometimes it's 90-10 because it's been times
Mhm.
when, you know, I've only had 10 and he showed up with 90 with no questions asked and no problems and never made me feel any less.
Mhm.
Um, the way he makes sure that I feel loved and cared for and appreciated. Um, I thank him for showing me unconditional love
Mhm.
and letting me know, you know, you can also love and have your best friend.
Mhm.
It's somebody that I never get tired of being around, and I've never experienced that before. You know, sometimes you want to get away from people, and it's like, you know, I need a couple days, and you know, go somewhere. But I've never experienced that with him. Even if I get mad at him for a couple of seconds, I still don't want him out the room. You know,
Right.
so
Right. Oh.
um, you know, so I I love him and I appreciate him, you know, for who he is and who he is to me.
Mhm. So this is your forever.
I believe so. You know,
I,
sometimes you can't say forever, but you know, it's been 3 years and we're still in the honeymoon stage, you know.
listen, 3 years. You know,
I,
and 3 years in our community is like
you
10.
know, and we are, you know, we're still in the honeymoon stage. I don't get tired of him. I don't know if he get tired of me, but you know, I don't get tired. I don't even like to be away from my baby. We still at the stage when we leave the house, we still calling each other on the phone like we cake.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Tahjee, I want to get a. Is listen. It's always electrifying talking to you. You want, like, you talk about intelligent. You're one of the most intelligent people I know. The way you enunciate words, the way you talk, the way you think is just amazing. And I love, as crazy as I am, and much as I like to make people laugh, I also like to have good, deep conversations with people. And I like that when people can hold those types of conversations, you know. And what words can you leave
Thank you,
with
baby.
people
Look,
that's
I'm coming
watching?
in now. See my man bringing me dinner now. I can't like
I
Oh,
love it.
listen. Where is
Listen,
he? Can we see your
thank
face,
you,
man?
baby.
Baby. Can we see
They want to see your
Taji's
face.
baby?
Definitely
Can
want to
we
see
see
you.
your face?
Thanks, baby.
Hey, how are you?
How you
thank you
doing?
for
Thank,
lo-
I'm
thank you for
great.
loving
Thank you
our
for
girl the way
loving
you
our
do.
sister. Thank you for treating her as like the queen that we know that she is, and like the queen that she deserves to
That's
be
it.
treated
Oh,
like.
it's my pleasure.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Oh
That
yeah.
is me,
And
baby. Yeah.
Tahjee, I want you to leave our viewers with something because we could talk to you all day. Like we could. I want you to leave our viewers with something. But before you do that, I got somebody want to say something to you.
Hello? Hello, can you motherfuckers hear me?
We can hear you.
All that mushy gushy shit, just get that shit out of here. Darn that shit.
How
Hey,
long is
brother,
this story?
how, how long is this story? Listen, I just want to let everybody know that Tahjee was finna say fuck y'all and give up on this shit after they packed her at Continental, and I'm the one who had to fly to Chicago to say, girl, this ain't it, this ain't the end. She said, no, take this shit. Y'all don't want it no more. You can have all this shit. Take it back to Atlanta with you. I said, no, you need to keep your drag because one day you gonna need it. So y'all can thank me for that, first of all. Another thing, I want Tahjee to tell y'all about when she won when she didn't win Miss Jeffrey Pub, and then I want her to tell y'all about when she won Miss Incognito, and then I want her to tell y'all about when she won Miss Gay Black Ohio. Okay,
Shavana, are you driving?
no, I'm in the car.
She
Are you
can't
in?
see. She
Are
can't
you?
talk
Are
on this
you? Are
phone
you in?
and drive. She can't
Hey.
see.
Yeah,
But,
I'm in the car.
Taji, before you answer that, Imani wants me to ask the question of who is your most feisty child?
Jermaine.
Jermaine.
Jermaine. Okay.
Jermaine is the most feistiest.
I love you,
Although
nephew.
Tatiana you could put a flame on her and it's a
Oh,
wrap.
Okay.
she don't
But
talk to nobody.
Jermaine is the most feistiest.
Oh wow.
Iman. I mean,
But you
yeah.
can rub Tati the wrong way and it's a wrap.
Tati's a
She not letting up.
Tati's a Pisces.
Oh, I'm a
She
Pisces too, so
automatically
I
got
get
a
that.
flip.
I
She
get that.
automatically got a flip
You're
status.
a Pisces. My son is a Pisces.
I'm February 22nd. Yeah, I'm a Pisces. We
He's
both.
March the 1st.
See, the March are even more feisty. Yeah,
And he can be an asshole sometimes.
me too.
Okay.
For a
Not
13
Now
year
always.
that y'all got
old,
her
oh my
Pisces child out the
God.
way,
I
What you say?
didn't win Jeffrey Pub and I snatched the crown off the girl's head. And
Did you
What?
really? Taji, you?
now I told you I changed a lot. I most definitely was a Hellcat. I used to be a Hellcat. I did.
Whoa. Whoa.
Um,
who was
but
the
it was
girl?
Dolores
Who?
St. Cartier. Was it Dolores? And the Lord allowed me to change and apologize for that because she competed for a US of A prelim and I crowned her.
Okay.
My sister, she snatched my sister Dolores' crown off her
Oh
head
my
up into
God.
the floor. Okay.
So yeah, I did used to be a little feisty thing because I used to think that some people got me together because I was the ghetto girl.
And my baby said, and pulled that hammer on the promoter.
I, d- I, I
Oh.
did used to pull a hammer and keep a hammer in my purse. I did.
Hey, now I had a sister named Miss Deja. She carried the hammer all the time. She didn't play, baby. She ready to pull that thing out of anybody because she was a bit clockable now, and we had to get into it with people a lot. So this before all this technology. She would do the
Oh
magic
my
shade,
God.
and she would have so many
Oh,
bumps on her chin like a Nestle Crunch. But baby, she didn't play with the boys. But Tahjee,
Is he talking
take us
about
out of
me?
here. Take us out of here and give us some words of encouragement or advice. Give our viewers some words to live by, or whatever you want to say in closing.
It may be a little repetitive, with the things that I've said already, but I believe some things, if you stick with them, it most definitely could, help you and help someone else. But always strive for excellence, because excellence has no competition. So in all you do,
Ooh.
whatever you choose to do, always strive for excellence. Then therefore you will never have any competition. And
Mm.
again, in all that you do, get your life, but don't catch your death.
You need to coin that phrase, and you
You
need to
know,
put that on some shirt.
absolutely.
I have. Because I do
Oh,
my own printing. I have, big sexy design. So I
okay,
have put
big
it on,
sexy
Yes.
a shirt.
design. I need one of those shirts, baby. I need one of those shirts. And if y'all want one of them shirts, y'all can reach out to Tahjee. Get your life, but don't catch
Yes,
your
but
death.
don't catch your death in all that you do. So yeah, try to be a beacon of hope and light and inspiration for someone. Undefine your passion and live through your passion and find your purpose. I believe you're finding your purpose and treating people right adds years to your life.
Yes,
I
it
don't
does.
know if that's true. I don't know
It
anything, but
is.
I just believe as long as I have purpose in
Hmm.
this life and I'm able to help someone, that the Lord is able to use me some kind of way.
That's it. And where can the people catch the storyteller performing?
You know what? I'm not on cast anywhere, unfortunately. So just wherever they book me, here. Next up, I'm down in Dallas, Texas for Miss Gay USFA at Large.
Okay.
And I'll be in St. Louis for Cosmopolitan.
Okay.
But yes, just occasional bookings around the city, because I'm not on cast anywhere.
Okay.
Hint.
That's right.
But
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Listen,
But
y'all better
you
get her
can,
on these
what I
casts.
realized though, you can't go everywhere because everybody, you're not supposed to be everywhere.
You're not supposed to.
So
Is that
I
the
had to
truth?
realize that too.
Me too. Me too.
And
And my
sometimes I
findings,
ask myself, like, goodness, they ain't calling me. What you wasn't supposed to be there.
yeah, I've learned that in my time too. Flame
Yeah,
said, where did the name Big Sexy come from? Did you get that name from Flame?
I believe so. I believe so.
Oh,
But I did say, and
In the beginning,
give
yeah.
him credit, don't that? I did give him credit that I did learn or how to exude sex from watching her on stage.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it
oh,
although she don't have no rhythm, but she knew how to exude.
Not Rhythmless
she,
Nation.
yeah,
Rhythmless
she knew how
Nation.
to exude sex and be sexy, and always had lovely clothes.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Okay.
that was most definitely a person that I got that from.
Okay. All
what,
right.
what, I mean,
So
they,
yeah, and
she's,
she believed in Big Sexy. She did. She most definitely did.
oh, but she's calling you big sexy, but I always called you big pussy.
Yeah, so that's fine. That's because it was this pussy by the time we started to rhyme. You know, because I felt like that's what it was all about. It was about this pussy.
Right.
Can't nobody whoop this
Big,
pussy. After I won
yeah,
USFA, it was about this pussy.
yeah,
I
Yes.
didn't want to
this
hear nothing
pussy.
else, baby. Yeah, it was about this pussy. Because then we had to walk on girls. We had to battle.
This,
Okay.
this one.
We had to battle, man. We had to knock them down.
I'm telling you.
Oh my
I'm
God.
telling you. Tahjee, has been a pleasure. It has been my honor to
Absolutely
interview you.
freaking
Thank you
lovely.
so much for saying yes. Thank you so
Of
much for
course.
coming on our show and telling your story and going beyond the filter with us to look behind your life, behind your lenses. We are forever grateful.
Oh my
Thank you
God.
I am
so
grateful. I
much.
love and appreciate you both. You all both know that I have a love, for you both. And I love and appreciate you both for who you are and who you have been in my life, most definitely. So it was an honor, a pleasure. I'm humbled, thank you.
Mhm.
And continue to do this. This is absolutely amazing. I've watched the interviews, and like I said, it's just not an interview. It actually, serves as therapy.
Mhm. To get things out, talk
Yeah.
about 'em. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I love that.
I
Well,
love you
thank you
so
so
much.
much.
I
I
love
love
you.
you,
I love you.
sister.
I love you. And I don't know if I have your current number,
It's
but
the
What you mean?
please,
same. It hasn't changed.
really, okay.
I ain't
I
hiding
love you.
from nobody.
I love you so much,
I,
and
I
you
ain't
have
never
been.
been one to change my number.
Thank
I'm
you,
not
Tay
hiding
Tay.
from nobody.
Thank you, Sil.
You're
Listen.
a you are amazing, and just so people can know, if you're looking for a beacon of light in this community, look to this lady.
I love you.
She turns nobody away. Even when she's got some admonishment for you, and she does it with love. And
Mhm.
please, this is what, when you're talking about acceptance, and when you're talking about the strength of the community, we need more of this. Because
Mhm.
when you're talking about, we're still fighting for our lives, we're still fighting for our
Mhm.
rights,
Mhm.
it's the disconnect that continues to allow this to be the case. Look for people like my sister, my mentor, and she can help show you the way. Because until we get to the place to where we love each other the way that we want the world to love us, we're never going to get to that finish line.
That's it.
So find those people who have the experience and the knowledge to share with you that despite our differences, despite our misunderstanding or disinformation, or you just I don't understand why you transition to be a woman. I don't understand why you transition to be a man. Look to people like this that can help you to understand that even though you don't understand, learn to appreciate, and the same respect that you are seeking, give it to others within this community.
And that's our girl.
I love
And
you.
that's our girl. Love you
I
so much.
love
Thank
you,
y'all for
sister.
tuning in. Thank all of our viewers for tuning in and watching the interview.
Thank you all.
We'll see y'all next time. And good night.
Good
Good
night.
night. I love you.
Love you.